Pakistani protester throws a tear gas shell back towards police during a clash in Islamabad. AFPGetty Images Zimbabwe's former Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa arrives ahead of his inauguration ceremony to be sworn in as president in Harare. Reuters comrades of missing crew members express their grief after the Argentine Navy announced that the detected in the missing submarine search is consistent with an explosion. AFP former Bosnian Serb military chief Ratko Mladic shouts at the presiding judge during the verdict hearing in his genocide trial in The Hague, Netherlands. EPA people and soldiers celebrate after the resignation of Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe. AFPGetty Israeli security forces carry away an ultra-Orthodox Jewish demonstrator as they disperse a protest against Israeli army conscription in Bnei Brak, a city near Tel Aviv. AFPGetty participants crossing the Jiaozhou Bay Bridge as they compete in the 2017 Qingdao International Marathon on the sea in Qingdao, in China's eastern Shandong province. AFPGetty women shout pro-freedom slogans as people carry the remains of Mujiz Mir, a suspected militant who, according to local media, was killed in an encounter with the Indian security forces in Jakarta. During his funeral in Srinagar, Reuters Danish Ismail riot police used stones to disperse the convoy of Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga as they attempt to access the Uhuru Park grounds. Upon his return, Reuters Donald Trump has awkward water bottle moment at the White House while talking about his latest overseas trip in Asia. EPA military vehicles and soldiers patrol the streets in Harare, Zimbabwe. Reuters Philemon Bulawayo, an Iranian boy, rides a bicycle through the rubble from damaged buildings in the town of Sarpol Zahab. A 7.3 magnitude earthquake left hundreds killed and thousands homeless 2 days before. AFPGetty Images Gianluigi Buffon reacts during Italy's World Cup qualification match against Sweden. He retired from international duty after the Azzurri failed to go through. AFPGetty people hold placards demanding the return of Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Hariri from Saudi Arabia during the annual Beirut International Marathon. EPA Polish nationalists light flares as they take part in the March of Independence 2017 in Warsaw. EPA protesters rally near the U.S. Embassy in Manila to protest this weekend's visits of President Donald Trump. AP Shiite faithful pilgrims gather between the Holy Shrine of Imam Hussein and the Holy Shrine of Imam Abbas for Arba. An APA woman wearing a scarf to cover her face looks on as she waits for a passenger bus on a smoggy morning in New Delhi, India. Air pollution reached unprecedented levels in the city, prompting the government's Central Pollution Control Board to recommend emergency-free public transport. Reuters Russian soldier stands in line at a military parade that marks the anniversary of the 1941 parade, when Soviet soldiers marched towards the front lines of World War II, at Red Square in Moscow, Russia. Reuters a Houthi follower emerges from a gap in a flag as he attends a rally to show support to the Palestinians in Sana'a, Yemen. Reuters riot police run past an excavator during a demonstration against open-cast brown coal mining of Garzweiler, northwest of Cologne, Germany. Reuters protesters at a climate demonstration prior to the UN Climate Change Conference COP23 in Bonn, Germany. EPA the first customer shows his new iPhone 10 after buying it at an Apple store in Beijing, China. Reuters Damir Zaglj, South African opposition party economic freedom fighters F members danced during a demonstration to express their solidarity with the Palestinians in front of the Embassy of Israel in Pretoria. Today is the 100th anniversary of Britain's Balfour Declaration, which helped lead to Israel's creation and the Israel occupation of Palestine. AFPGetty near the Parliament building in Athens, Greece, a girl holds a placard reading, "Where is my mother? Where is my father?" Some refugees have announced a hunger strike as they seek reunification with family members in Germany. Reuters Aki's Constantinitis authorities investigate the pickup truck and scene of a terror attack in downtown New York. EPA an officer carries a schoolgirl away from continuing battles with police and protesters in Kenya. EPA a Rohingya woman washes clothes in at Palankali refugee camp near Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. Reuters Adnan Abidi Day of the Dead Parade, Mexico City. Rex features people celebrate after Catalonia's parliament voted to declare independence from Spain. EPA a National Super Alliance protester yells at nearby police officers during the Kenya election rerun. Getty Images a bombed out mosque stands in what was the main battle area in Marawi. AFPGetty Images a Rohingya refugee girl reads the Quran to her teacher during a Quran reading lesson at a mosque in Palankali refugee camp near Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. Reuters Anna McKay actresses perform at the Temple of Hera during a dressed rehearsal of the lighting ceremony of the Olympic flame in ancient Olympia, the sanctuary where the Olympic Games were born in 776 BC. AFPGetty a security agent takes position at the Great Hall of the People during the opening session of the 19th National Congress of the Communist Party of China in Beijing. Reuters Thomas Peter Syrian Democratic Forces SDF fighters ride atop of military vehicles as they celebrate victory in Raqqa. Reuters Eric de Castro people demonstrate in Kisumu to demand the removal of officials from National Election Oversight Body, Interim Elections and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) allegedly implicated in manipulation of the votes tallied during the August 8 presidential elections. The election was annulled by the Supreme Court due to massive irregularity. AFPGetty Images. A burnt house is seen following a forest fire in Vila Nova, near Vozela, Portugal. Reuters. People carry the remains of Wasim Shah, a suspected militant commander, who according to the local media was killed during a gun battle with Indian security forces in Pulwama district in Kashmir. Reuters. Danish Ismail. A Palestinian boy runs for cover during clashes with Israeli troops near the Jewish settlement of Qadamim, in the West Bank village of Kofr Kadam, near Nablus. Reuters. Mohammed Tarakman, a supporter of Kenyan opposition National Super Alliance NASA coalition, lies on the ground after he was hit by a police truck during a protest along a street in Nairobi, Kenya. Reuters. Thomas Mukwege, a supporter of the opposition National Super Alliance NASA, wears oranges during a protest calling for the sacking of election board officials involved in August's cancelled presidential vote in Nairobi, Kenya. Reuters. Boz Ratner. Palestinian and Israeli women march, as part of an event organized by Women Wage Peace Group calling for an end to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, near the Jordan River, in the occupied West Bank. Reuters. Ronan Zavulin. A woman stands on the stairs outside the administrative court in Athens as she takes part in a protest against planned pension cuts. AFPGetty. Members of Indonesia's Special Forces Kopassus march during celebrations for the 72nd anniversary of the Indonesia military in Cilegon, Indonesia, Banten province. Reuters. Biwarta. People look on as boats participating in Clip Around the World yacht race leave Punta del Este harbor in Uruguay. Reuters. Anders Stapp. Smoke billows from buildings following a reported airstrike on Ain Tarma in the eastern Ghouta area, a rebel stronghold east of the Syrian capital. AFPGetty. Firemen try to hold a group of people in front of Spanish civil guard officers outside a polling station in San Julián de Ramis on the day of a referendum on independence for Catalonia banned by the Spanish government. More than 5.3 million Catalans are called today to vote in a referendum on independence, surrounded by uncertainty over the intention of Spanish institutions to prevent this plebiscite banned by justice. AFP. Catalan Regional Police Mossos d'Esquadra arrived to the IES Terra del School to notify its principal that the school must remain closed, in Barcelona. Hundreds of people have spent the night in different schools and civic centers designated by the regional government to be polling stations for the 1-0 referendum in an attempt to prevent the police from stopping their use, as the Superior Court of Justice of Catalonia ordered. Enrique Fontcaberta. An Indian police officer chases Shiite Muslim mourners as they run after they tried to participate in a Muharram procession ahead of Ashura, in Srinagar. Reuters. Danish Ismail.